You know what's kind of funny to me when I read your comment, how embarrassing it is for us? Let me tell you what's embarrassing, buddy. I used to be a Democrat. Switched over during the Obama years. Yeah, so I was one of you. I was a Democrat. You want to know what's embarrassing, buddy? What's embarrassing is that you always let a man with full-fledged dementia pretend that he was running the country, when in reality, it was a bunch of interns and lower-level people that weren't elected. Elon was never elected. Yeah, those people were running the country instead of Joe Biden, knowing full well that Joe Biden was mentally not there. Okay. And now they're all doing their little media tours and book tours, writing books like, yeah, whoops, my bad. We absolutely had a guy that had full-fledged dementia and didn't know what was going on running the country. Weird, but that's embarrassing. And right now, those same people who were unelected, who were actually running this country into the ground, mind you, are all selling money and telling their stories on media stations right now, talking about, yeah, we had to put neon markers with tape telling him where to stand and where to go. And yeah, whoops, we knew it was bad, but oh well. That's embarrassing. What's also embarrassing is the coup that the Democrat Party did. You see, the big elites and the big swinging D's in Washington decided, well, I guess the gig is up after watching that train wreck of a debate. And what did they do? Well, instead of having a Democratic primary, where you guys were able to figure out candidates that you would like to support and put through the rigors of a process of elections, well, no, they didn't let you have that. That's kind of embarrassing too. What they did is they pushed old Kamala up front and said, this is who you're going to support now. And then the media and people like you jumped on board and was like, wow, she is so amazing. She is so good. She's just the best politician ever. After literally listening to everybody for the past 4 years talk about how uneventful and how horrible of a candidate she was, right? Literally put into that position because she had the color of her skin and the fact that she was a woman. That's pretty embarrassing. And then the media, and then we hand her $1 billion, right? And we surround her with a bunch of celebrities and tell everybody how wonderful she is. But we got to keep her away from the media because you can't have her sit down and do an actual, interview, because then she'd give you a bunch of weird word salads that didn't make a lick of sense. That's kind of embarrassing. And then you want to know what happened on election day? The people with brains in this country saw past all of it. All of it. Because you had a guy with full-fledged dementia supposedly running the country, which, of course, now that we know he never really was, and all of us were called crazy and stupid because we saw that the man had full-fledged dementia. We saw him literally zonking out into space, but your party didn't care about your rights. They didn't care about who you would want to elect or support in a political election. The big swinging D's that have run this country for years into the ground, mind you, basically told you you're going to support this person. And you guys were like, yes, daddy government, we are going to support her. We love Kamala Harris. That's pretty embarrassing, dude. Donald Trump, yeah, Donald Trump's got a lot of faults, you can say, 100%. Do I think he's perfect? Absolutely not. Do I think he's made mistakes? Of course. But I would say that what that happened the last 4 years, where you guys let our border be overrun by 10 million people that weren't properly vetted, background checked, none of it. Let them come into this country and get handed everything off of a silver platter. Free Social Security, free Medicaid, free insurance, free money, free cell phones, free housing. Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing too. But yeah, please tell me, because I looked at Cory Booker, because right now the Democrat Party's sitting at about 21% approval rating, and there's no leader right now. So they're all vying for the position. So Cory Booker was like, hey, I got a great idea. Let me stand on the Senate floor and completely yammer on and on for 25 straight hours about my absolute TDS obsession over hating Donald Trump. No filibuster, no vote on the floor. But why am I going to do this? Oh, because I'm vying for that attention too. Right? Because I'm a narcissistic guy named Cory Booker. And now, anytime there's a video camera in front of my face, I'm going to make sure I'm right there with it so I can just tell them how hard I'm fighting for the Democrat Party. Embarrassing. Matter of fact, buddy, every person in the Democrat Party right now is just straight embarrassing at this point because all they're doing is obsessing over Donald Trump and Elon Musk so much. They're going to start peddling fear and peddling panic and, oh, the stock market, oh my God, Trump's crashing the economy, oh. Instead of actually picking up the pieces of their party, which is an absolute fucking shambles right now, no, they're not going to do that. No, they're going to go run around and talk about how much they hate Trump and how bad Trump is for democracy. Democracy's failing. Cory Booker sat up there for 25 hours talking about nonsense. No filibuster, no vote on the floor. He did it because he's a narcissistic guy and he wanted the attention to be on him. All eyes on me for 25 hours. And what did it accomplish? Nothing. But you guys being like, He was so brave. He was just so encouraging and inspiring. That's pretty embarrassing, buddy. Simple fact is your guy had straight up dementia. Didn't know where the fuck he was half the time, and everybody knew it. The media lied about it. The Democrat Party lied about it. The people in charge lied about it. But Americans were smart, and they saw through it. Yes, Trump's got a lot of faults. A lot of times you guys are just so pressed about hating him because your absolute hatred of Donald Trump absolutely overdoes your love of country. And that's the fact. So before you start throwing what's embarrassing out in the world, buddy, maybe take a real fine tooth comb over your own party, because the behavior that we've seen the last 4 years and the past 5 or 6 months has been absolutely embarrassing. Maybe Bernie Sanders, let's drag him out from the crypt and talk about, we got to fight the oligarchy and fuck the rich people in this world, and no one asked for these billionaires to run our country. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders happens to be one of those millionaires who is absolutely run by other big billionaires like George Soros. You see, it's always pointing the finger at the other side, but never pointing the finger at them. That's pretty embarrassing. So, before you start throwing out what you think is embarrassing about the other party that you so-called hate, maybe you should take a fine-tooth comb to your own. Good talk, buddy.